This is a very quick video on how to manage users from your Joomla site. Joomla allows registration from the front end of the site, but you have to turn it on first. Once you log on, go to Users, Manage. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see an Options button. You'll have to turn on Allow User Registration. You also can decide how you would like them to register and what user group you'd like them to be added to when they register. Standard is registered. The guest user group is guest. Joomla makes a distinction between registered and guest in that it allows you to set different access levels for different things on your site. For example, your menu items. Your menu items you can turn on and off depending on what the user's access level is. So if a public user comes to the site and logs in, a menu item that is registered will then show. A menu item that was set as guest will no longer show. Okay, so this is pretty standard, and most people go with these settings. The next question to ask is whether or not when they create a username and password, if you want to send that password through the email. This is a security setting. Do what you're comfortable with. We usually say no. The new user account activation should be self, but you may decide to have your administrator approve, and that's up to you. If you want to allow user registration on the front of the site, having the administrator approve will send the administrator an email letting them know that they have to approve a user before they can actually be created as a user on the site. Once they've been approved, the user will get an email letting them know that they have been accepted and they may continue with their process. Set to none, there will be no confirmation email sent to the user at all, and the user can immediately log on. Most don't opt for that. Email verification is a good way to make sure that you vet the users that are registering on the front of your site. You can decide if you want to use a built-in CAPTCHA or not. There's a plugin under Extensions Plugins that you can set up the reCAPTCHA, no CAPTCHA code if you want to go sign up for reCAPTCHA in Google. And then whether or not you want to show the users their front-end user parameters. We usually don't. They don't usually need to know that stuff. Okay, so let's say we're allowing front-end user registration. Now that we've got that set, once you have that set, you're going to see a new link, a create an account link from the login form that wasn't there before. That create an account link will allow the user to give their required information and then register. If it's set to self, they'll then receive an activation email that they must click on and then sign back in with the username and password that they created during this process. If they fail to do that, they will not be given access to the site. If you've set it for administrator, the administrator will get that email first, must approve the user, which they can do directly from their email, and then the user will get an email letting them know to continue with the process. You can add a new user from the back end at any time. Just select New. Most of the information is required. You need to give them a login name. Generally, this is a first name and a last name. And where it says name, that's actually the username. The login name is also known as the username, which they see here. And then a password. Each email must be unique in that you cannot set up one user with an email and set up a different user with the same email. The system won't let you do that. Decide whether or not you want that user to receive system emails. System emails are usually strictly sent to site administrators. If this is not somebody that you want to know what's going on in the back end of your site, then make sure you keep it set to no. The next setting is to decide what user group they belong to. Most are going to be registered if they're just basic users for the front of the site. However, administrators often add other administrators to the back end of the site. If this is a site backend administrator, select super users if you want them to be able to have access to everything on the back end of the site. You have different levels in here that we aren't going to go into right now, but know that these can be created anytime. Once you have selected your user group for that user, just save and close. If you haven't given the proper information, you're going to get some validation warnings. I'm going to cancel out of that because I don't really want to add a new user here at this time. It really is easy to add a new user anytime you want to go into Joomla to do it.